The Chinese-US rivalry really is one of economics. This week, the Chinese National Congress met, and so here's a couple takeaways from the Chinese system, number one. And secondly, and maybe equally as important, is maybe a couple of more insights to how the Chinese actually think. And finally, what the Chinese are planning on doing about US tariffs. Let's check it out.
Today in China, where the week-long National People's Congress meeting comes to an end. This is China's largest political meeting of the year, where political leaders and delegates of the nation's legislature from across the country meet in Beijing. China is a socialist state with a unified system of governance where one party, the Chinese Communist Party, leads the nation's one branch of government, the National People's Congress. In this week-long convening of China's rubber-stamped legislature, the Chinese government reveals the Communist Party's plans, setting the tone for the year ahead. This means there is no debate. There are no changes to the agenda, and delegates are expected to implement the policies adopted by the CCP. The economy was at the top of this meeting's priorities for 2025. China's vast economy has been slowing in recent years, so the Chinese government unveiled its plans to address economic growth and pledging to boost consumer spending at home. The meeting also addressed how Beijing plans to continue its transformation into a technological powerhouse by
First, one thing we need to make sure we're understanding, when the Chinese have their National Congress, they are already voting on an agenda that's in place. There is not a lot of discussion. There really isn't any debate, but we need to understand that that's what the one-party system does in China. It puts everybody on the same page, and as a result, there really doesn't seem to be a lot of debate. No one really contests what the Chinese Communist Party has put together. As a result, it's more or less a pep rally and much less of a political discussion of the best things for the Chinese party to do. The Communist Party has already done all the heavy lifting. The people there are basically to show their loyalty to the plan and to carry out the plan. Another thing to consider is how the Chinese are really kind of looking at themselves. They like the idea that they have no discussion. They're all on the same page, and it's much less messy than what the Western powers have, which is something known as a democracy, right? As a matter of fact, we take a look at the Chinese and say, where's the debate? Where's the discussion? And they look at us and say, why bother debating? Why bother discussing? They have a one-party system, and the Communist Party way is the only way. And of course, this is all under the leadership of Xi.
As Beijing prepares for a potential drawn-out economic showdown with the United States over tariffs. U.S. President Donald Trump recently doubled tariffs on all Chinese imports to 20%. Beijing responded by imposing retaliatory tariffs, escalating a trade war of sorts.
A couple things that China is trying to do is showcase what they stand for and show solidarity with the entire people of China. Now, whether there's complete solidarity or not, I don't think there is. They have a country with over 1 billion people, so why on earth would you show complete, utter solidarity? Because we say that we live in the idea of marketplaces in the West, that we share ideas. Some ideas are great, some ideas not so good, and we have a debate so we can maybe become a little bit more aware of what's going on in the big picture. Not so much with China. These ideas have all been vetted, figured out, and are being put into place. Let's check out a couple of them. For instance, China really is trying to double down on their technology. They want to become a self-sufficient technological powerhouse, and they are experiencing some headwinds with this goal. The fact is, they have a little bit of propaganda. Oh yes, you can call DeepSeek as one of their propaganda tools, suggesting that they can have AI and beat Western AI models with less chips and almost no computing power nor energy. So that's one of the themes they are kind of playing into with this big meeting. Another thing to consider is that the Chinese are reeling. They do have some major financial headwinds that they're facing as well. Their economy isn't doing really well. Their housing market, a complete shambles. So when we put these things into perspective, we know that every country has its struggles. China is trying to present a plan, and the plan is one of solidarity, that their system is going to be able to handle whatever things are facing and thrown the Chinese way.
This is all happening as China faces economic problems at home as well as pressure from the United States. This is all about showing stability and confidence. Everything here is highly choreographed, a way for China to highlight its system as orderly and as unified, in contrast to what it sees as the chaos in some Western democracies. But in the end, the real power lies with leader Xi Jinping and his grip on China's Communist Party.
Of course, one of the other things the Chinese government deals with is, well, massive population, food shortages, and maybe the perception that the world has of China. The fact is, we don't necessarily look at them in a very positive light. We know that they are bullying all these countries inside the South China Sea, and their desire to be the number one most dominant country in the world means that it's going to happen at the expense of many of the other countries in the world. So, with that, we know that the United States and the tariffs are a very real problem for the Chinese, and they're going to have to figure out some strategies on how to move their game forward. Hey, it's Brian. Thanks for joining me. It's 360 Politics. Feed Charlie. Go ahead to like and subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.